Hey guys, it's Mac from Wandering Matt's Book Nook, and today I thought that I would take you through my challenge journal for the 75 Booked Challenge. We'll be starting off today by looking through a couple of the first few days of the challenge. I've gotten through day 7 in the journal. The Show Your Work book was the book that I had just done on day 7. Completed that whole book and started the next book, Steel Tide, which is the second book in the series of Seafire series by Natalie C. Parker. Basically, this book and this series in general is a dystopian kind of steampunk versus survival on the water. I'm not sure how else to explain it. It's very interesting. I read the first one back in March and started reading other books and never got around to reading the second one, so I've been listening to this audiobook starting on the drive from ECU when I dropped my daughter off yesterday. Once I got to the hotel, I continued it for a couple hours, and my day 7 total was the entire Show Your Work book, and 193 minutes of the Steel Tide book. For this particular challenge, I'm just doing kind of like a daily 1 page a day in this particular journal. And I've broken it up into 2 session blocks, I guess you could say, for each day. This is the day 8 page, which happened to be while I was working today, was my session 1. We were giving some state tests, and I was the site lead, so I was able to check the students in and leave them to my teacher to test. So that gave me some time to check emails and do things like that for work, but also listen to the audiobook while I was working. So this first block, I'm just filling in with the session details for how long I read or listened to the audiobook for that particular session. And for each of these sessions, I usually end up putting the book that I was reading, the type of book it was, and for how many minutes each session was. So as you can see, I was looking back at my Storygraph reading journal, there you go, to get the information off as far as how long I had actually read in each of those sections. Then I just do a short blurb of my thoughts while I was reading it, if I had any thoughts about what was going to be happening, if I was surprised by anything, things like that. And then after I'm done filling out the session, I always do try and go back and make sure that I check all those boxes as far as making sure I add if I had drunk any water during that time frame, things like that. So the thumbnail to this video had my journaling supplies and said, is this enough? And for me, for journaling on the road, this is pretty much all I need, is just my journal and some stickers and some good micro pens. And yeah, I get to put down all of the information that I need to without having to carry around a large chunk of my supplies. And I do have a very large chunk of journaling supplies, so try to keep it at a minimal, but for me this is definitely enough. Stay tuned for tomorrow when I will be checking out a very awesome used bookstore for you guys here in Elizabeth City. And until next time, happy reading, and we will see you then.